Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Learning Forward show. It's Saturday again. We have with us today Alex Reisley, a versatile person, passionate travel, has taken him to 41 countries. He loves children, champion for social issues, critical thinker, man behind the Marksharks app, which our happy teachers have fallen in love with it. Someone who has a deep belief in the potential for children. He is committed with his knowledge and the opportunity around to make the world better. His diverse experiences and variety of backgrounds prepared him perhaps for Teach for America. He enjoyed teaching elementary children and spent his teenage years traveling. For us, he's still a teenager because he continues to travel. Welcome to the show, Alex. Share with us your passion for education.
My path into teaching was never planned. I never actually intended from a young age, or even when I was in college, to become a teacher. It was something that kind of came about on its own. But I've always enjoyed working with kids, and I've always enjoyed, being a mentor. And so through a number of various positions that I had in college and high school, I had opportunities to work with kids that were younger than me. And I also went to a high school and a college where, the common good and giving back to your community and helping people who didn't necessarily have the same advantages that I did growing up. That was something, that we could really, work on. And so that's what kind of attracted me to the Teach for America program, where I, was working with kids in underprivileged and under-resourced communities. When it comes to my passion for education, I think that there is such a powerful bond between teachers and students. I mean, you think about the amount of time that students and teachers spend together. And when you think about that time, you just realize that teachers have such a profound impact, or an ability to make a profound impact on a student's life. And so, I am passionate about teaching because I'm passionate about building relationships with students and being somebody that really can be a mentor and a guide. I remember when I was in middle school, I had an advisor who I think was also my social studies teacher. And it wasn't even the content that she taught me, but she taught me how to become organized and how to plan out my day and how to, plan out all of my activities on a regular basis. And that skill has really benefited me the rest of my life. And when I think back to that teacher, I don't think about enjoying her social studies lessons. I think about the skills that she taught me and the impact. And so, as I said, I wanted to get into teaching, and then eventually my work with Marksharks and EdTech, really to be a mentor and to help guide students. And so that is kind of, why I am passionate about education.
Please stay with us. We will be back after a quick commercial break. It's been wonderful working with Learning Forward, more so because I've had the golden opportunity of being the founder as well as the sponsor and the first chairperson of Learning Forward India. It was indeed an honor and privilege to stitch together the affiliate and bring in hundreds of people from all over the country as our members. In 3 years, we've come a long way. We have worked with a few dozen schools. What's most beautiful about Learning Forward is they are committed to raising the bar for the teaching and learning profession. And we as an affiliate strongly support that. And Learning Forward is but a natural step for everyone in life. Affiliate has to live by the spirit of Learning Forward. John, not just be in design and policy, but in terms of purely connecting with the educators and helping them appreciate what they are doing. Affiliation is more about appreciating the spirit of learning. To understand the global implication of education, you must become an affiliate. Teacher as a mentor, which has been the highlight of your life. Would you like to really share with us in today's environment why it's perhaps even more relevant than the pedagogy or the technology? Because we are today just talking about technology and design. We are perhaps not talking enough about mentorship and relationship. So would you like to highlight more of your work on relationship building and mentorship, please? You mentioned about the social studies teacher, but tell us how you put this into practice. How do you take it to a classroom? How do you really create this kind of, I would say, path-breaking leadership effect for children?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, one of the interesting aspects about ed tech is that we're constantly trying to find ways to engage our students and motivate our students. And students love technology, and I've seen that kids are growing up with technology, and that's something that helps make ed tech a resource for them to use. But when it comes to human to human and student to teacher relationships, that is really, in my opinion, what is going to motivate someone to learn and put their best effort forward. If you enjoy being in the presence of your teacher, and you enjoy that experience, then you're much more likely to work hard for that teacher, for that and so in my own experience as a teacher, I had a number of different challenges. I was working with a population of students that was very different from me. I, am a white male who grew up in an upper middle class background, and I was working with students from, Black and brown backgrounds, from, more under-resourced communities. And so, finding ways to connect with them was a challenge. And as a result, that affected my ability to provide good instruction to them. And so I spent a lot of time early on the year building relationships. I would invite them to lunch. I would spend time with them at recess. I would give out surveys, and so I could learn about who their favorite artists were, or their favorite musicians or athletes, or people in pop culture who they really looked up to. And I just spent a lot of time trying to learn about who they are and what interested them, and integrating those interests into classroom activities. And once I was able to build those relationships with my students, and make my classroom much more inclusive, I found that my engagement in class really, really increased. I found students, because I had built that relationship with them and I had put in the effort to really get to know them and for them to get to know me, I found that the effort was increasing significantly across the class. Because I think that my students wanted to work hard for me. They trusted me. And so while we have all these interesting ed tech solutions out there that help, engage students, it's really that bond between the teacher and the student that is going to, really help increase your results for your students as a teacher, and at least in my opinion, in my experience.
Thank you, Alex. That was wonderful, and you shared a lot with us. In just less than a minute, share with us your experience with the Asian continent and India in particular, because we have a large viewership in India.
Right. Yeah. So, my experience in Asia and India started right after I graduated from college, I was actually supposed to start teaching, and then because of an injury I sustained related to my college athletics, I had to defer for a year. But I ended up recovering and having all this time, so I ended up traveling throughout Asia for about 4 or 5 months. And I loved that culture, and everything was so new. And so when I had the opportunity to learn in India, even though it wasn't Southeast Asia, I was just so interested in coming to a new place and coming to a new culture. I mean, learning as much as I could about it. And so when I came to India, I experienced just a ton of hospitality, and I felt like people were interested in me, and I had something that I could teach them, and I could talk about my experiences, traveling and back in the US. And so, coming to India was a amazing experience for me. And I hope that I'll be back soon once, this pandemic subsides.
Thank you, Alex. Learning Forward India would love to play host to you when you visit us. And I'm sure we have a long journey ahead to build our good schools and make our teachers happy. It's been wonderful meeting you today. And even more, the effort you take in helping our teachers actually love themselves. That's what makes you a passionate teacher. Thank you so much.